Working on a super yacht or sailing yacht, especially below-deck sailing yacht, requires a lot: physical prowess and capability, a willingness to put ego aside and learn from those above you, attention to detail, showing initiative, and the ability to do it all while living and working in close quarters with your colleagues on the high seas. Oh, and it's also all being filmed for a reality show. It's not for everyone, and it wasn't for season 5 deckhand Emma Crouch. Emma arrived at the Parsifal Isle full of wide-eyed wonder. At 34 years old, the London native was admittedly green in the yachting world, and she said she wanted to live her life gallivanting the seas instead of settling down. But after struggling with her duties on board and failing to show initiative in improving, Emma was fired midway through the season by Captain Glenn Shepherd and First Officer Gary King. Like a lot of firings that take place on below deck, Emma's was brutal. Being let go from a job that requires you to deboard a boat and take a plane elsewhere heightens the stakes. Emma wasn't just losing a job, she was losing her home for the season. She did not handle her firing well, as she burst into tears and refused to speak to Captain Glenn and Gary, or to say goodbye to fellow deckhand Keith Allen, instead retreating back to her quarters. Emma must have done some self-reflection because she spoke out on Instagram to address her firing. On November 26, 2024, Emma shared an album of photos on her Instagram depicting her with crew members Keith and Gary. In the caption, Emma wrote about her experiences and took ownership of how she left the boat, and she said that she's cool with Gary and Keith now. She also teased that there was more anger towards Gary, which wasn't shown on the show. Emma's emotions got the better of her during her firing, which is understandable. Gary and Captain Glenn did their best to try and encourage her not to quit, telling her she had potential, but this wasn't the right role for her. Emma managed to compose herself and say goodbye to the rest of the crew, who sadly watched her leave. Emma then said that she'd signed up for a course to improve her skills and confidence after leaving Parsifal, which is a positive step for her and a silver lining of the firing. In hindsight, Emma valued her time on the sailing yacht and made friends who would last a lifetime. In the wake of her firing, she continued to share photos of her experience on the boat on her social media, showing off some of the lighter moments with Daisy Kelleher, Diana Cruz, and Danny Warren. Emma also thanked them all for their support. Emma's life has rebounded since getting fired on national television. Emma mentioned in one of her posts that she'd taken a course to improve her yachty skills and turned into a job. When she left the boat, Emma signed up for courses with Paperboat Yacht Academy, which is described as a super yacht boot camp and mentorship program. Emma made a good impression on them because, after her course, she was offered a job teaching yachties how to survive the rigors of yacht life. Today, Emma appears to be thriving and living, at least part-time, in the Dominican Republic, where Paperboat Yacht Academy is based. She still follows many of the crew from her below-deck adventure and seems to be on good terms with them. Emma has a positive attitude towards her future and seems to have made peace with her time on below-deck sailing yachts.